What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Rene for Prison Ride Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This afternoon, we have a man that goes by the name Maxwell Melvins. All right, he does a lot. He's the founder of the Grammy-nominated Lifers Group. He is an advocate for the youth, an advocate for our people, and much, much more. So we're going to talk to him firsthand. How you doing, sir? Good afternoon.
I'm doing fine. How you doing, Miss J. Renee? I'm doing all right.
I'm doing well, thank you. I appreciate that you taking this time to, chat with me and give me something to share with the people about you.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you having me. You have such a great platform right here. You have a platform that most don't have. This one particular, you have several platforms, but this one is very different because it's geared towards a certain audience, which is very much needed.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this time you have platforms out there that's just like you're getting all these companies, you call in the order things from these different companies, and you get an automated voice. Right. So all the companies are geared towards technology when some people aren't versed in that area, So right. Someone has to remain that, and that's what I feel your company is doing right now, Jay, your platform.
Thank you. We trying to, do our part, definitely, for sure, and help people get their voice and their stuff out there. I think you remember this, but I met you like 2 years ago in New York. Do you remember?
Yes, we met at NYU, I believe it was. Yep. We met at NYU. It was you and the sister from State versus Us.
Yes, Tia Hamilton. Yes, that magazine's doing awesome right now too. Shout out to her. She is putting out her 6th issue coming very soon.
Wow.
So, yep,
wow.
She's doing her thing. She's doing
both of y'all are geared toward the same platform where it's toward the same thing. And the must need area, hers is somewhat print, yours is by way of virtual technology,
Yep. She's definitely the voice of the voiceless, and we, those people that's in that situation definitely need assistance. And helping is something that we should do. You know what I mean? But exactly. Let me talk about you though, because you got a lot going on. Okay. I don't even know where to start. Okay, yes I do. Let's start with some music. So you are the founder of the Grammy-nominated Lifers Group, right? So tell the people more about that.
Well, the Lifers Group is a group that actually started out of Galway State Prison. A lot of people know it best as the Lifers Group Scared Straight program, but it's not actually Scared Straight program. Scared Straight was just one of the many documentaries that Lifers Group had did.
Okay.
That's called the Juvenile Awareness Program. All right, so I went into to the program in the Lifers Group, and it was much needed. As time changed, we had to change with the times, and I went in with some new ideals and different things, and I saw that in the early 90s, you had a lot of gangster rap and different stuff coming out, right? Mm-hmm. And, you had NWA, all these other groups coming out, and everybody was hardcore. And the kids was pretty much listening to what these rappers were saying, right? Mm-hmm. And thought you had to wear the badge of honor of being in prison as a badge of honor. And it was another side of the story that needed to be told, right? And I thought I was going to be the one because since nobody else was telling them, that if you do pick up a gun such and such, you're going to get a mandatory 5 years in prison. It was, like Ice Cube, just the lyrics. I had to do a week in the county jail. It was a piece of cake, all types of lyrics, stuff like that.
Right.
So like I said, I needed to tell them different and the truth because I was actually living it day to day. So I gave them a different perspective on what was really happening, what they really needed to know.
Right. Yeah, so that is so awesome.
I came up with the concept of, hey, maybe if we change the platform and we can reach them by way of music.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was doing at the time, I was, reaching out to different companies, and I stumbled across DJ Red Alert's production company.
Okay.
And there was a gentleman by the name of Dave Funkenklein who was working with him. He was about to leave and go out to be the head of Hollywood Records, which is owned by the Walt Disney Company. And I gave him my idea and everything. And he said, look, that's great. Give me a call when I get out there and get set up. So I gave him a call when he got out there, and we went from there.
Okay. Yo, that's the fact that you said putting out your perspective and talking about like the power of hip hop music. That's how we initially met. Is I was talking to you about hip hop humanism, where I promote the positive hip hop artistry because I believe that there's a power when it comes to hip hop music. Like it changes trends, it changes where people want to go, it changes the words they use, it changes all of that. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that you talk to, they'll say how hip hop might have influenced them to make certain decisions. You know what I mean? So the fact that you did that is like really awesome and definitely close to my heart. So I appreciate you for that.
Yes, thank you. And it does carry a lot of power. And when people really look at what hip hop music was really about, it was about the culture and people and about being that voice for people when it originally started, a form of expression.
Right.
People telling their stories of their pains and different things they were going through in the urban cities and stuff across America.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it was teaching something at the same time, though.
Exactly. So, it was along the same lines. And, so, we started, we recorded everything, recorded all the music inside the prison and everything. And, we put out the first EP in 1991.
Wow.
And it was a great response behind it and everything. Right. And, yes.
That's like hip hop history, man. That is like, you don't even understand. Like, I'm so excited to talk about this. Like, not, just on the hip hop side and the social side. Like, it's a lot. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Some people have not actually tried to write it out, but they somewhat left it out. But it can be left out. It was a part of history. You can't change history.
Right, that part. And it's a part of history, and it's a part of Black history. It's a part of hip hop history. It's just history is history. You're right about that. So let's talk about Die Jim Crow Records.
Yes.
I've actually got to talk to BL Sherrill. Definitely cool person for sure. I didn't even know that y'all knew each other. Like, I met y'all independently. So it was kind of cool to see it, like, link back together. I always take that as a sign of things. But tell us more about Die Jim Crow.
Well, Die Jim Crow Records, it started off, Die Jim Crow started more so as an organization with Fury Young, right? Okay. And, Fury Young, he actually started that organization based off of the Die Jim Crow book put out by Michelle Alexander. Okay. He read that book, and that book kind of inspired him to start an organization.
Okay.
And from there, as we was working and doing things, as a group, we came up with, talking through former meetings and discussing that we wanted it to be more. So, over a year's time, we talked about it and wanted to turn it and make it into a record label.
Okay.
And to be the first of its kind, and to be a record label of recording the currently incarcerated and the formerly incarcerated.
Right.
To be a voice, not for us to be a voice for them, but providing, that platform for them to tell their story using their own words. Instead of the media telling their stories, to be a platform they can share their own stories and tell their own stories.
Right.
And Fury kind of like, well, they say, and I'm looking back, they say I'm not one to take things, I kind of like brush things off. I'll explain to you in a minute, but Maxwell, you are the pioneer of this. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a Die Jim Crow Records, because they kind of went off the concept of what I did, and Fury Young was familiar with me. Mm-hmm. So he reached out and found me on the internet, and we started from there. We did an interview, and from there, we took off from there. And that's kind of how Die Jim Crow Records formed, along with BL Sherrill as one of the founders, one of the participants. She's the deputy director.
Right.
I am the senior advisor at Die Jim Crow.
Yeah, that is so awesome, yo. People, y'all can definitely reach out and check them out at www.diejimcrow.com. You know what I mean? I don't even have to say how dope and awesome the concept is. Everybody listening knows, you know what I mean? But yeah, that came full circle for real. And it's appreciated and it's needed. I know that y'all actually have an artist that's gonna be dropping in August.
Yes. We have several. We have album that's going to be dropping too.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
and we also have several things that's going to be actually dropping. We got a lot in store. You know, a lot of music in store. You know, people are going to really be surprised of the quality of the music. You know, because Die Jim Crow is a multimedia company in various ways, whether through vision, you know, or by word or music or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
so we have a lot of surprises, and we've done a lot of shows, and we've even went out and spoken at several colleges. As when I met you that day, I just returned from Vegas that morning.
Okay.
Doing a presentation at Augustino College.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned that to me.
Yes, exactly. You know, and you know, the support has been great behind it. And it's more than just a record label, too.
Right.
I don't know if you recall, we just donated more than 50,000 facial masks during this epidemic. We raised the funding to do that. So we just not just in one way. We more than just a record label, but basically we're a record label. We go where we need it and what matters is concerning those that are incarcerated.
Right. One of my main things I always say is hip-hop is in the hood.
Yes,
so it makes total sense to me. It makes total sense to me. You know what I mean? It's more than just music and the culture. It's about, like you said, like it originally started. It was about it was about not only talking about their experiences, but giving back, trying to make a change, trying to give people information so maybe they don't do the same things. You know, telling the story exactly what happened and what they might do different. You know, just making to expand your mind, make you learn something. Like I remember hip hop, it used to make me go look in the dictionary for stuff. Like, you know, and ask, well, what does this word mean? Like, you know.
So, yes, exactly. So it has become like, as far as involved in educational hip hop, they even have classes in hip hop and everything. So you can see it's one of the biggest genres of music there is in the world. It's turned into that, and it's used in education now, and it's encouraging because it forces the kids to, what you just said, as far as looking in the dictionary for the new use of words and phrases and stuff, and how to articulate themselves.
Yeah, stimulates the brain.
Yes, exactly.
So,
exactly.
Before I let you go,
all right, it's cool.
I want to ask you, just give us some words of wisdom. You know what I mean? I know it's a lot of wisdom in you. Just something, you know, you want to put out to the people.
I don't think I can summarize it in just a few words, but I will say I will keep telling my story. I will keep telling my story over and over and over and over, you know, as many times as I have to. And it's not always easy telling that story because, you know, it's like when I'm telling it sometimes, you're reliving that over again, and there's pain in telling that story sometimes because there were people involved, and people were hurt and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, you know, it's something easy to do. And people say I make it look easy. It's not easy.
Right.
You know, it's not at all.
Consider.
Yeah, it's not easy at all. You know, so, but I will say to people, like, they need to definitely listen to the message and the music because it's real what we telling. It's not something made up. Because a lot of this stuff you hear in that music now, a lot of it's made up. These guys haven't actually lived that.
Right.
You know, they haven't actually lived that.
Right.
You know, that lifestyle or anything. They're just you know, just
glamorizing,
sensationalizing and glamorizing things. You know?
Yeah.
They're just glamorizing and sensationalizing it, and I'm going to tell the truth and tell the real story.
Definitely.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, you know, I definitely appreciate you taking some time and chatting with me.
Absolutely. You know, it was an honor, right? Especially in considering seeing what you're doing with Prison Riot Radio. And not that yourself, man. I mean, you're very active out there in the fields and on the scene of things that are happening out in the criminal justice field. And I see that you've been working with a number of platforms, and I just like to commend you, and I like to commend Tia and State versus Us as well. That y'all doing a great job. And as I said, the public and the people can look forward to Die Jim Crow coming out with some good quality music, and it's not just hip hop music; it's very diverse. You know, the music that Die Jim Crow, whether from rock and roll to bluegrass or whatever music, we're working in several fields there.
Right.
And you know, as I look to down the line, like this won't be our first collaboration together or what, because there's several people, that I would like you to meet in the industry that's doing a great job out there. As I said, like, there's so many of us, and people don't, know about it, and like your platform provides that for them. And I had some people just telling me yesterday about your platform. They didn't even know it existed,
Right.
And I directed them over to there, and so
I appreciate that.
they will definitely be checking y'all out as well, sisters,
Most definitely. We definitely appreciate that. I thank you so much. It's always a pleasure, and we got to make sure we talk more often. Like, it's been a long time since we got to converse, so we got to change that.
Yes, we definitely do, because remember, we supposed to touch bases, but you've been busy and doing what you're doing, and I've been busy over here, but we still been doing what we set out and what we aim to do. We still doing it. And that's what's the important thing about it, Sister J,
Yeah.
And I appreciate it very much, And, all you got to do is reach out to me, and, like, like, people, I will give you my, my handles, people want to reach out, I'm there, to do.
Yeah, let everybody know how to get in contact with you. Thank you.
Well, they can get in contact with me. They can go to Melvin782 at Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. They can also go to Max Melvins on Facebook, and they can also go to Twitter, Maxwell Melvins. Also, they can go to www.jimcrow.com. And they can get in contact with me. I'm available for presentations, whether it's through church, community groups, or whatever. We're there, and Jim Crow is there to come out to speak as a whole or individually. We're there and available for the community.
That point. All right, we appreciate that. We definitely I'm gonna make sure I put it up so people can see it easily, so they can get access to you. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, and I appreciate you, and I will be in touch soon, my sisters. All right?
For sure.